Hi, how are you? It's Ching. We're going to continue working on the no more pain and no more weakness. This is actually the last part of the body. We went through the whole thing, right? So now, this is beginning of 2021. This is second Saturday. And so, no more pain. So a lot of time we talk about the foot so painful and the ankle, feel the stiffness, right? Because a lot of time we don't use it because from sitting, driving, our popular posture, or, so remember it's always opposite, we use too much or we don't use. And some people love to exercise so much, right? They spend most of the time. Some people don't like to move. So, but if you want to take care of this body, we call it small universe, right? You have to be the good caretaker. So I say this is the miracle body. Lots of miracle happens, right? You don't see your internal organ work so well. Your heart, as soon as developing in your mommy's womb, right? It's amazing. The heart is loved up 24/7. Your internal organ, constant working. So we need to what? Be a very good miracle care, right? We have to take care of this miracle body. Okay, so now we're gonna go down talking, or I'm gonna sit down, talk a little bit more what's today's lesson, right? Okay, so you see the setup. You can pause, or you can pause a little later after I'm explaining everything. You see, I have two dining table chair here that I'm gonna bring in later, or acts as a workbench or floor. So if you can't sit on the floor, you feel your back is tight, your knee cannot straight, you're gonna use the chair. So most of my clients come at the beginning. I do a lot of rehab for them at the beginning, and I use my exercise bench, which is called a cat-like in the Pilates, the equipment, the apparatus of Pilates, so they can put one leg down and pick just one leg up, not two legs, okay? So now we also have a little bit props here. We have a tennis ball. This is actually called a paddle ball, okay? And those are good if you have it. Try to find some. If you have soft little ball, it's fine too. Do not use the lacrosse ball or golf ball. That would be too painful. But of course, if you like pain, you can try it. Okay, so again, we're very extreme. So if you have rope in my studio, I gave everybody a rope, okay? Because it's easier too. But today we don't really need to, because comparison, I know everybody can find a belt, okay? So this is my very old belt, and so it's kind of soft. I can use easily, so you can use this. Okay, so those are the props we're going to use. And if you have a mat, bring it out, and or just sit on the carpet. Okay, so comfortable. If you don't have any, put a towel out, a couple, just put a nice big bath towel. Okay, here we go. We're gonna talk about the structure of your leg, your ankle, and your feet. So I'm gonna sit down. So here we go. See, my background, I was a dance teacher for a long time, choreographer. So easy for me to do this. But I'm gonna just using the floor to demonstrate the construction, the structure, right? The structure of what you have. This is your leg and this is your thigh, okay? The thigh has one bone, just like the arm. So there are two, right? This and this similar structure. One bone, a humerus to your hands. Femur goes F to your feet. So there's one. Now you have a knee joint, so the elbow joint. Okay, it's really nice, so we can walk and move, right? So we're not going to talk about this. We did it with the other video already. So if you can find my playlist and go for it. Okay, so now the leg and the foot is one, just like your forearm and the hand. Every time I move my hands, the muscles come from my forearm, just like this. So we're gonna meet those muscles and the structure, which is the bone, okay? Structure, right, nice, hold you upright. The bone make them to move, and with the ability of your joint. So joint, we call it range of motion. So I'm just using a lot of the terminology when you come to exercise, so you don't just copy. Joint give you range of motion. Flexibility happens, develop in the muscle and your tendon. Okay, so let's do the structure first, right? Brains are just like a house. Inside this wall is what? 2x4. And some people use the 2x6. Some people use the, stone or the bricks. Okay, so material is different. Okay, so now this bone right here, nice and flat. Okay, you can feel it. You can sit down on the chair to do it. Put your feet on the other chair. Okay, so now get to know yourself, right? So how you built this miracle body. So you're the miracle keeper and be a good keeper. So this is called a tibia. And if you're curious, you can Google after class. Okay, so now this is called a fibula, 2 bones. Same thing here, they have 2 bones here. So you have radius and ulnar. The reason you have 2, so it pivots around. Arm has so much more movement, people cooking, building a building, and the surgeon, dentist, everybody needs a lot of movement on the arm, but we don't want a lot of movement here because what? Stability, otherwise you'd be like walking it's not good. So see, it's a miracle. You don't have to think about it. Design the most beautiful design for your own. So get to know it. Okay, so this is your tibia and that's your fibula. So what happened, there's a tiny little bit movement here. Okay, for stability, the muscle is going to help you to stabilize. So now the front, my leg, we call it anterior, right? The front body is anterior, the back is posterior. So same thing, anterior and posterior. So now the movement, you can see I'm going to contract the anterior portion of my leg. It's called a tibialis anterior, sorry. You can see like huge tendon here. This tendon connects, I pop it off for you. You can see this, right, raise muscle, and the muscle disappear, become tendon. You can see this tendon continue going to hook the first metatarsal underneath. Then now there's a, see that? You have it too. Do this. So we call it everting. You do, oh, I have this tendon here, but the muscles come from here. It's called the head of fibula. There's a bump right here you can feel, and peroneus longus and brevis. So muscles here. If I pop it for you, can see the muscle contour a little bit. And then it become tendon. It hooks all the way, goes all the way down, meet up with this one. So we call it stirrup muscle. You remember those back in the 70s? I'm 67, so I wear those pants before. You still have it, so horseback riding, so you still have those pants with stirrup, so you can put in the boots without rolling up, right? So right, the stirrup pants. So that's your stirrup to hold your what? Hold your foot to your leg. So when you run, you don't fall apart. When you walk, you're still together. It's so amazing. So we need to learn how to appreciate the structure. So those are 2 big muscles in the front, okay? So there's another 2 I want to talk about. You can see if okay, here we go. That tendon right here, and it's going to split into 4. You see I contract. You see this 4 tendon here? You go 1, 2, 3, 4, connect to my 4 toes. You have it too. So if you just lift the toes up a little, you can see them. And you just move the ankle a bit, you can see it's become 1. So the 1 split into 4, continue, goes underneath the tibialis anterior. So this muscle and the tendon move the toes, right? Extend the toes. Can you see that? I didn't move my ankle, I just extend my toes. Now also, right, helping the tibialis anterior and the fibularis, peroneus longus, to flex my ankle. We're going to talk about that a little later. So I'm just explaining the muscles, okay? So that's called an extensor. When your toes up, call extend, just like the finger, just extend, okay? Toe extend, finger extend. It's kind of weird, right? So, but just remember that's the only way we're going to talk about it. And when you're dancing, it's a different word. It's okay. But we talk about wellness. You're going to get to know the anatomy and kinesiology. The terminology come from there. So it's called an extensor. Digits, okay? 4 of them. Digitones longus. I write it down for you in the bottom of the video. So now, of course, there's another one. Can you see this big tendon? Connect to the toes. My toe doesn't look so pretty because I have a huge bunion, but it's a good thing it doesn't hurt. I fix it. I don't need surgery. So from here, And so that tibia, this one, okay, so it's called extensor hallucis. Go to big toe, longus. So that goes in, come a little shorter behind the surface of the muscle. Okay, so it's deep into the tibialis anterior and the extensor digitoris longus. Okay, so now we talk about the front muscle, now they're back. I use this so you can see. So if I extend my ankle, can you see I tighten up my gastra? Can you see this side view? Right, that's my gastra. And if I ankle flex a little bit, it's soleus. So if you have all the extensor digitoris, longus, and hallucis on the bottom, right, you're going to have those three muscles we just talked about, the tibialis anterior and all these three, and the two over here. So the bottom you have tibialis posterior that will straight the ankle. See, the top one will flex the ankle. The inside the gastra, there's tibialis posterior, will straight the ankle. And then you have flexor, flex the toes, right? So flexor digitoris longus and flexor hallucis longus to the big toe. They need to move. We don't do this movement. Can you see I flex my toes? It's kind of weird, but it's really good for you. So now I'm strengthening the muscle underside your foot. So what happens is you don't need to wear an orthotic or those nice soft gel, right? And to support you, because there's one here for free, and it's part of you. So if it's part of you, you need to get to know it. So those are kind of quick muscle. Okay, so sometimes we call those three muscle has a nickname, goes down and goes through here, right? So Tom, Dick, and Harry. So it's tibialis posterior is T, Tom, and Dick is the digitoris, flexor digitoris longus. Then the Harry start with the H, so that will be the big toes, the flexor hallucis longus. Okay, so Tom and Dick and Harry goes under. We when I was studying, they give us those nicknames so easier to remember. Otherwise, we don't want to study anymore because it's like, oh, so much, right? Okay, so the movement of, so from here we're going down. So again, there's not much movement on the leg because it's too long bone, right? There's no joint in between. So, oh, thank God, less movement. Now let's go to the ankle. So ankle doesn't have an ankle bone. So this bone sticking out, we call it ankle bone, is actually the end of your tibia. This one's the end of your fibula. And that kind of holding a talus. So that's the ankle movement. Can you see that? Okay, so there are four movements of ankle. This is called dorsal flexion. That's plantar flexion. When I come to dorsiflex, I can do everting and inverting. Everting, you can see this, can you see the muscle you just met? Peroneus, longus, and brevis, making that happen. Then tibialis anterior, okay. Tom, Dick, and Harry, making to go in. So out and in. So those muscle has name, just like your friend. You get to know their name. You're also going to get to know their background, right? So now I'm going to use my belt to help myself to stretch. So you remember, we're going to go over one more time. Dorsal flexion, this is the dorsal part of your foot. So if you wear a flipper to swim in the summer, there's like extension, right, of the flipper. So that's this side's dorsal. This side's plantar, the bottom is you're planting on the floor, okay? So since we're up, we're not planting, but we still call plantar. So dorsal flexion, plantar flexion happen ankle joint, everting and inverting happen ankle joint, okay? So I'm gonna use that, kind of stretch out all those muscles you just met on the leg, okay? Here we go. We're gonna wrap, okay, like this. So if you can sit on the floor, it's not easy. You have to have a really flexible hamstring and strong back. So a lot of time we're sitting like this. If you like this, we're going to go to the chair. Okay, so here we go. So I'm going to do the modification. And So everybody can do, if you can sit on the floor, stay on the floor. If you can, if that's a little challenge, you will sit, find your dining chair, just the right distance. I have no idea how tall you are, so you're gonna put just right. You sit tall. Don't sit like this because now you have no excuse because one of your feet and two of can be on the floor. Okay, pick one up. So that's much easier. Here we go. We say there's always a way. So this is how I rehab people if they really injured or they're too tight, they can't sit on the floor. I would say, no excuse, we find a way. Inhale, hollow tummy, 1. So find the right way to breathe, 2. Inhale, always through the nose. Exhale, you pull your tummy in, it's like a belly of the fireplace, pursely blow out. Exhale, so if you do that correctly, if you don't know, you don't know what I'm talking about, you can always find the focus 2 on my playlist to learn how to breathe properly. We don't bring the oxygen in your tummy, okay, the tummy, stomach, that's for food. You have a lungs for oxygen. Exhale. So now I'm using my core muscle, which I always say, right, first responder, which you transverse abdominal. If all those are foreign language to you, don't worry, just copy the movement first. And keep watching the video, you will learn more and more. Okay, now, inverting, so I'm turning in dorsal flexion. So you can see I'm stretching the outside one. All the muscle on the side of your leg is more like a shock absorb, okay? So when you're running, there's always, right, because you weight, you're heavy, and we're upright, so there's always weight bearing. So if your muscle's stronger, you're moving better, you don't wear off your joint, okay? So inhale, exhale, so you stay away from knee replace, hip replace, because it's bone, cartilage wearing off. Then of course, in different age, you're gonna find the proper exercise according to your body condition and your age, okay? Because being Chinese too, I would like to keep original parts and go. So that's me, you better take care of yourself. Now we're gonna in and out. So the movement is really easy, but just feel a little foreign because you don't use those muscles properly. In and out. So I'm lubricating the ankle. Okay, great. Now you ready? I'm gonna put this leg down and talk to the other one, right? It's nice, we only have 2 legs. Otherwise we'll never finish. If we're octopus, right? Inhale, hollow tummy, dorsal flexion, 1. Hollow tummy, 2. So if the hamstring really tight behind your knee because we sit all the time, so this is tight. So you're gonna feel all the way up here. If you have a hamstring tear, you're probably gonna feel all the way up to your hamstring because you are connected. So the fascia line too. So this is dorsal flexion. Exhale, sit very tall, right? Good posture. Don't go like this, right? Don't defeat right away. It's become, oh my goodness, here we go. Ankle pull, 1. Hollow tummy, strong, tall, 2. So you do call inverting, come toward the inside your body, and dorsal flexion. Inverting dorsiflex, inverting dorsiflex. Now everting, go. Inhale, hollow your tummy. Again, pull. So remember, we kind of stretch the medial one. Okay, it won't feel too much right now. And go, and go. And last one, now go in and out. So you do about 6-8 times, right? And really wake up those muscles. Now I'm waking up the joint. I get that joint, right? Remember range motion. Lubricate a little bit. This is will help your body, right? Blood circulation. If your blood circulate well, you repair faster, right? And also the cell replacement, everything your body does, digestive system, they all working better because what circulation is what your body is doing, circulate, blood circulation, oxygen circulate. Inhale, exhale already. Just one breath, you circulated, right? Oxygen, which is the most important, right? Cell food, C-E-L-L, so your cell food. So now, that's good. So now, I'm going to talk to the toes. Okay, so here we go. We call it articulation. So articulate every single joint. So I'm going to ankle straight. So this is contract. Okay, so my ankle straight, so it's plantar flexion. Now I flex the toes. So like my hand. Okay, this is called flex. When you grab something, you flex. You can do that with your toes too. So some of you probably say, it's not, it's not moving. That's okay. Keep practice. Everything is repetition. Now you're going to extend the toes. You extend just like finger. You extend. Okay, but toes. Remember those little extensor digitalis longus and hallucis, right? And now contract the tibialis and the fibula, right? Which is peroneus longus too. We tend to go use those two names. They're the same muscle, either peroneus or fibularis, because right next to fibula. So let's dorsiflex. Ankle, toes, toes, ankle, ankle, toes, toes, ankle again, ankle, toes, toes, ankle. So ready? We're gonna do more. You're gonna pretend you pick up a pencil. Hold on to that pencil. You can feel this. Got tighter because you're gonna flex my ankle and let go of the pencil. Again, flexed and let go. So actually, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna save that for next week because that's strengthening. So right now, you just learn the movement, okay? So don't overwhelm you. Articulation again. So here goes. Otherwise, this class is gonna go forever. And extend and dorsiflex. Ankle, you can see my gastra. And flex the toes, extend the toes, and come back. So we get to understand how the body is being designed. We have the best designer body. And go, return. Ankle, toes, and the toes and ankle. Okay, so that's what straight movement. And one more movement here. How people say circle your ankle, how do you do that? Since you learned the everting plantar flexion, inverting dorsiflex. That's how I circle my ankle, not my leg. Okay, not my thigh, not my leg. So I'm waking up those joints. The only way to loosen up the joint is using the muscles. See, they work together just like the yin-yang philosophy. Okay, yin-yang symbol, always. So if you use the muscle and the joint, right? Joint is the yin, muscle is the yang, creating movement. You create circular movement, just like the circle. It always, so there's three principles, right? It goes into yin-yang philosophy. It's two parts, and it changes all the time. So you get daytime, nighttime, you move to tomorrow, okay? So that's just one of them. The one of the philosophy, right? So now everting plantar flexion, inverting dorsiflex. Circle. So what I do in my studio too, I'm integrating the east and west. East is based on the TCM, traditional Chinese medicine. West is what really get to know, right? The muscle anatomy, kinesiology, right? Physiology, biology, all this stuff. We know too, but I just use those, they have a better system for me to use it, okay? So you combine both. Sorry. So that's the ankle movement. That, sorry. Talk too much. And that's the ankle movement using all the muscle on your leg to get it happen, okay? So now, here's the last part. We're gonna strengthen the foot muscle to next week, but I'm gonna massage it with a tennis ball. Okay, so, whoopsie. Okay, so this, we're gonna use, let me show you quick. The bottom of your feet, okay? All the muscle down here should never go dead. So we don't want to they become jerky, like dried up. So we have to massage them. So some of you probably experience plantar fasciitis too. So it's really, really painful. It takes a long time to get better. So There's other stretching for. I'm not going to do it today because there's too much going on. And I'm going to use this to massage it, okay? So this is what you're going to do. You're not going to see because I'm going to step on it, so I'm going to show you. Between the big toe and second toe, you can see my big bunion. Between the big toe, second toe, this area, there's a muscle in between. Tendons, muscle all over. Many layers of muscle in the down. So you're going to go, I'm going to put the tennis ball here when I'm standing up. I'm going to keep moving them, okay, to the arch, to my arch, and all the way to the heel, and go to in between the little toe and the fourth toe. Come to the center of your foot, so it's between the second and third toe, and straight down. So the ball has a nice root and follow through. So it look like this, go like this, going out, and the center. So when you see the bottom of my feet, the red part we call the yang part, because that's where the weight bearing. So I already taught that, right? 3 points. 1, 2, 3, where the weight bearing. You don't bear your weight on the arch. The arch should never touch the ground, okay? So why? It gives you balance. Okay, here we go. So I'm gonna standing. If you need, hang on to something, go for it. You can put this right next to the chair. You can turn the chair around, right? You put your hands right on the back of a chair, or you can hang on to the wall, or you can bring this in front of the counter. So I'm going to put it down on diagonal a bit. I'm going to start with my right foot. So I'm going to put the balls right under between the big toe, the head metatarsal, which is the ball of your foot, 1 and the 2. So I'm bend my knee, I press in a little bit. So I can feel that this area is kind of fanning out. And fanning out, and 3 times. Now move it to the metatarsal. Metatarsal is all these long bones right here. You see the tendons are superficial. The bones go in the deep of that tendon. So I'm going, whoa, okay. So you go, oh my goodness, I can really feel some of the trigger points here. So you do 3. Then you're gonna slowly go up to the arch a little bit. So your toes goes down. You press and press a little bit. Don't do too hard if it's really painful, right? So just enough what you can tolerate. You're going to slowly moving toward the heel. Another 3. Okay. Now right at the heel, but toward the medial portion of your foot. Okay, so 3 times. Then going to move to the center of the heel, so it's right pretty much right under, right the center. I'm going to press down about 3 times. This is very easy. Once you learn how to do it, you should probably do it about 3-4 times a week. Okay, if you run every day, you gotta do it every day, because if you run every day, that's mean you need to recover every night, every day. I don't care when you're running, nighttime, daytime. After you're running, take care of yourself, because you're going to use again tomorrow. Okay, and go. So I'm moving toward the toes now. And now I'm in the arch, but then on the outside, between this little toe and big toe right here. And I wish my toe looks better. I don't like to put toenail polish on, but I want to make my toenail clean and clip them, whatever, because I don't want them not breathing. Okay, all the way to the metatarsal. And the metatarsal, getting those muscles again. Oh my goodness, bottom of my feet. Now I'm going to the head metatarsal, the 5th one and the 4th one, and go. I had a little bit of surgery here, on here, the 3 chip up. So my 4th toe lose a little bit sensation, but no problem, because I have other ones helping. So now I'm in the center here. Okay, slowly moving up to the metatarsal, which is the long bone here, right? Remember? Okay, 3 times. Then you're going to the arch of your foot. And continue moving toward your heel. Right? Sometimes the pain give you a little nice exhale. as a release. Okay, so now you can massage a little bit. You can go to where the most painful, so revisit a little bit to get a little more second round. Now you put your foot down, you kind of walk in place a little bit, move the ball out, you walk in place a little bit, you can feel that right foot is breathing. It's like, oh, thank you, thank you. And it says, thank you, Ching. I feel better. My foot is open and the blood circulation goes into muscle, right? Recover from being, right, jerky. So here we go. Start the right, left leg, left foot. Okay, so ready? I put the heel down first and go 1. So again, in between the bigs, in my big bunion, and I'm getting a little intimate with you guys, showing my big bunion. It's not pretty, but it doesn't hurt, so it's okay. And try to fix it because it used to bother me so much, and can't sleep. It's so painful. So if you have bunion, you know what I'm talking about. So you go into the metatarsal and slowly go into the arch of your foot. You can put all your toes down, park a little bit, so you can have a little right balance to it to work. Gradually moving toward the heel, and okay, great. So you just see my foot, my left foot. It doesn't matter you start the right or left, it's the same route. Okay, from the medial and go to center, then go to the outside between. You're going to aim into between the little toe and the fourth toe. Okay. Slowly coming toward the toes now. And so what happened, this is really good for plantar fasciitis. If you have plantar fasciitis, this is too intense. You will do this on the chair, sitting down. So you will do a little gentle movement, just creating the blood circulation so your body can rebuild and recover. Okay, but if you never had it, you better do this so you prevent to have it. So if you had it before, you better now. You want to do this also as a prevention, the foot health. So you just don't want to sit around, pray. Here we go. Pray is really good. I mean, I love to pray to God too, so I love to pray. I like to even talk to my parents. I think they're with God. And I said, hey, how are you guys? Please take care of me and help me to make right decisions, right? So because you still love to talk to your parents, even they left this world. And here we go, going to all the way up and toward your heel. Okay, so it's the same idea. So if you understand the route, how to walk through from bottom of your feet. So I put my finger here, but you know it's coming from the bottom all the way up through the heel, goes outside, and the second and the third toe you're moving up, and you go back to where the most painful area. Okay, so we have many parts, and taking foot off and walk a little bit. So I have two good, right? Good feet, right? Both of them are good, so nice. So same thing, if you walk in place, that's a nice massage already. So I'm walking in place on my soft mat. This is Pilates mat, it's much thicker because we roll the spine a lot. So gradually I will teach you all the Pilates too. And here we go. So I'm gonna learn to articulate your foot, because you don't walk with the heel down, you're gonna get in a lot of trouble. Okay, so just practice that, and this conclude this week's exercise. Get to know your leg and your feet, right? So your leg and your feet, so you can move in them and release the tension, bring the full range of motion coming back. It's really nice to do all that in the pool too, right? If you do like pool exercise, move your feet too. It's so nice, feel the water. That's it for today. Take good care. So When the weather's nice, go out for a walk and feel your feet and feel the nice support. And if you walk a long time or you're running, start with that first tennis ball, okay? Then you do the rope or the belt, stretch it out. Just take care of yourself so you can what? Long-term care, sustainable. We're gonna live a long time and we're gonna feel good for a long time. Take good care.